No.
To my right is Tucker. To my other right is Max. And we're going to be talking about...
You forgot yourself!
I said myself first! I made sure you were hitting him, so you weren't paying attention. Welcome back. This is going to be episode 2 of the Enigma Exchange. We have a full cast of people today. To my left is Kyle. To me is me, Cameron. To my right is Tucker.
What's up?
And to my right is Max.
We are missing Millie.
We are missing Millie.
She left us.
Just to clarify really quick, Millie is Max's dog. We didn't say that last time. So Millie is the, what is it, Corky? No, it's not Corky.
That's Corgi Aussie, Max.
Yeah, Corky argument. Anyway, yeah, that's Millie.
She's a Corey gives this. And today we're going over the Pixar theory, which isn't really a conspiracy theory, but it's fun to discuss. And depending on how you look at it, you know, themes kind of match. And essentially what the Pixar theory is it's the theory that every Pixar movie is connected in some way, whether that be small details or, you know, plot points. So
There's actually an entire timeline from start to finish where everyone clicks into it.
yeah. So that's that. Who wants to take us away on this theory?
Well, I guess I will. The whole start of the theory goes back to The Good Dinosaur, which came out actually in 2015. In this timeline, the meteors don't act. The meteor that came to destroy the dinosaurs actually somehow redirected its course, missing Earth entirely. And so, as millions of years went on, the dinosaurs gained kind of like the intelligence to talk and to be sentient. And how this kind of connects to the Pixar theory is that they're in Monsters University, which is in the timeline millions and millions of years ahead. There's a stuffed, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the dinosaur name, but it's that long-necked dinosaur.
Stephacosaurus.
Littlefoot?
No. But there is a stuffed dinosaur that represents the dinosaur in the movie there, in Monsters University. And that's basically how the Good Dinosaur movie is kind of the start to the Pixar theory.
And if I read it correct, a lot of these theories come from the Easter eggs found in a lot of these movies, right?
Yeah, it's mostly just the Easter eggs, kind of connecting them all together, because they're all made by Pixar. And then just people have just kind of theorized that they're all in the same universe and they all take place. I guess kind of jumping off from the little dinosaur, the next one kind of in the series, the timeline per se, would be Brave, which kind of doesn't add terribly much to the overall theory. I think Brave it's a movie from Pixar, but it just kind of adds the idea of like human souls and that they can kind of exist outside of the body to inhabit things or change things and stuff like that. Kind of really all that Brave kind of adds to it. There is something else in there, but kind of ties back in at a later time, so we'll get back to that later. And then we jump forward again, like another, well, that'd be like a couple hundred years to like modern day, to I think probably talk about The Incredibles next. I think, right?
Luca.
I'm skipping over Luca because it's such a minor film. It's just kind of adds. I mean,
Is it just like humans?
yeah, it's just humans and fish. I think it's better to skip over the smaller movie, not smaller movie, but like the newer movies and just talk about just the core Pixar films. I think. So then that brings us to The Incredibles, which, do you guys remember what happens in The Incredibles? The big thing?
Robots, the superpowers.
So proud of you, Tucker. So proud of you. AI is introduced into the Pixar universe. And unfortunately, if we've all seen Terminator, AI just kind of builds upon itself to get better and better and better. And that's kind of the theory, is that AI just kind of
That's
takes
Terminator.
off. Terminator is a movie about. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Actually.
Terminator is about a program.
It's about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he's the one who's Terminator.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting the name of the artificial intelligence, but
Skylar.
Skylar is Skynet.
Yeah, I thought you said you couldn't remember it.
Well,
Oh, wait,
you said
no.
that and it was pretty close, so I'm like, oh, dude, yes, Skynet. Anyway, Skynet makes these like robots that look like humans.
We're talking about the Pixar theory.
My computer's at 14% as well.
Cool.
So,
Cool. So,
It's fine.
thank you.
I guess does somebody else kind of want to take it after, kind of from The Incredibles?
Wow, you don't want to hear about the Terminator?
Not when
don't
we
think-
only have like 20 minutes.
We're only 8 minutes in.
8 minutes in. So The Incredibles happens. Superhero people kind of are in the world. It's like a genome thing that kind of dies out as it continues forward. AI is basically the big takeaway from The Incredibles 1 and 2. Not much really happens in 2, but it's right after 1. Kind of directly right after that is kind of leaning back into the Souls idea, back into Toy Story. Still kind of, this is all happening like within 50 years of each other. Where Toy Story happens, where toys come alive and do toy stuff. And just kind of, again, it's theorized that they're like, it's human souls in the toys or something. I don't exactly know, but just kind of the idea of souls being outside of the human body again is seen.
Well, next is Finding Nemo and Dory and whatnot. How does that tie in?
Basically, it just kind of happens again. This bit is kind of all happens within 100, 200 years or so. So it's kind of all right in there. And it's kind of just the idea again of like we saw with like the Good Dinosaur, how animals were kind of like intelligent stuff. Kind of just bringing that back in with fish now being intelligent, traveling across the world to Sydney to save his son, that type of thing. Which also brings us to then Ratatouille again.
Very good classic movie.
Yeah. You say that like you haven't seen it before. Have you seen it?
I have. I've seen it so many times.
What's the main guy's name?
Ratatouille.
It starts with an R, right?
Yeah.
I know it.
I actually do. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
what
pull it
liars
out.
say. That's what liars say.
Remy.
Yes.
That's the rat's name.
Are you sure?
Yes. What is it?
It's actually Ratatouille.
Anyway.
Moving on.
You're not gonna tell us his name?
Oh. Some mysteries are more
He
fun to
said it.
figure out on your own.
They said it already.
Okay. Again, with Ratatouille, it's just kind of humans and animals coexisting. And really, by the end of the movie, the only people that really know that animals, specifically Remy, is kind of intelligent and smart is Linguini, the girl, I can't remember, the boss, and the food critic, I believe, are the only four that know by the end.
Mm.
You're looking at me like you're skeptical. What's up?
I'm not. I think that's all the people.
Yeah. And then technically Toy Story 3 happens after Ratatouille, which is just the Toy Stories again, but with Andy now grown up. We don't have to really delve into what happens in Toy Story 3, I don't think. It's just kind of there. Next, we see Up, which again is the reoccurring thing with animals being kind of coming up with humans. Because I think really we could agree that like the three big factions, I guess, in the Pixar universe is you have machinery, like robots and stuff. You have humans and you have animals. And they're kind of all three vying for power isn't the right word exactly, but they're kind of all
They're from what I see from it is they're in their own like evolutionary stage.
yeah,
and you see
yeah.
that progress.
And sometimes one will be ahead of the other, and then that'll change and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So this is kind of like the human part, the most boring part, because it's just humans. So then you have Up, which again is just kind of the animals getting more comfortable and stuff like that. Inside Out is next in 2015, and that's kind of again, kind of coming back to like souls and how like a body can have different pieces of it and stuff like that, and how things can live on.
No, so to iterate
What's
on Inside Out, Inside Out suggests that like emotions and memories are like the people's primary like energy sources, I guess, which is also kind of like what Monster Inc. We'll explain later about, but how they like scare people to get the scare energy, but then later in the movie they find out that laughter is technically stronger. So that's what Inside Out focuses on. Inside Out also has the Bing Bong, her imaginary friend. I don't know why I asked if you knew that. I know you don't. Bing Bong was like Riley's
he's the
imaginary.
elephant, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's like a
Like a pink elephant.
Yeah, so Bing Bong was like a long lost memory of her like monster that was sent to harvest her emotion. Or I say harvest, I mean like I mean to like collect it
Yeah.
for whatever they were doing back then. So that's just kind of what like Inside Out ties into the Pixar theory. Then we got Coco, which also takes immense power of like memory and like emotions and stuff, because who
De La Cruz,
well,
Miguel.
no, it was Hector.
Yeah.
So you remember what was it, Mama? Was it Mama Coco? Or what was her
Mama
name?
Coco is the old one.
Yeah, Mama Coco was Hector's daughter, and Hector was fading out because she was starting to forget him. I believe Hector called it the last death. If I
Probably, yeah. Or second death or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And apparently Bing Bong was also in there. I don't know if you guys saw that. Apparently Bing Bong was there. I don't think Bing Bong was said, but it was like you saw them. Which I'm just saying it's interesting to see that it's in another movie.
I'm just
Okay?
trying to picture that. I'm just
I
trying
am
to picture
too.
like Coco, and then like you just have a pink elephant. That's
So,
like,
well, that's the thing. Do you remember how they had like guiding animals in there?
yeah,
It was like one of those. I'm pretty sure. Just like how
Okay.
his dog was also
yeah.
one at the
Okay.
very end, I believe.
Does that make the monsters and Monsters Inc. guiding animals then?
No, because remember, Bing Bong's from Inside Out.
Bing Bong
So it's like a
is
memory
a
thing.
memory
Okay.
from, and that's why the memory of Bing Bong went to the land of the dead.
I think now that you say that, though, I think I saw a theory that Bing Bong is a Monsters Inc. monster.
Well, I just said that's Riley's long lost memory of the monster that
Oh.
came.
So is it the memory itself is the guiding animal, not the monster?
Yes.
No, not the monsters. The memory of her like depiction of the monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like that monster like she remembers to a T.
Yeah.
Remember, you know, as a kid, how like things become fuzzy and it just kind of becomes like objectified.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was.
Okay.
So, but anyway, back to Coco. It was like the final death anyway. So that was like the whole point of Coco and how it ties in. And then you get to Souls, which is where we're gonna reiterate a lot more about like Toy Story and stuff. But in Souls, I remember the main character switches with a cat, if I'm correct.
I've never seen the movie.
There's this the black guy, the main character. I'm forgetting his name. It doesn't really matter.
Joe?
What?
Joe?
Yeah, it is Joe. There we go.
Joe Ma.
So
Swanson.
Joe, oh my god, Joe like passes on, I believe, or something like that happened.
Okay.
Like he got in an accident or something. I don't remember the movie.
He plays the saxophone.
Yeah, I know he plays the saxophone. Anyway, so his soul goes on, and he somehow like has to. He fakes this whole thing about mentoring someone. Anyway, he gets back to Earth, except he's not in his body. He's in a cat. And then the person that he was supposed to mentor is actually in his body. And for some reason, they can communicate like a human to a cat. I don't understand that. It worked somehow in the movie. Anyway, besides the point. So all that movie really represents is the fact that souls don't have to be in a human body. They can be in anyone. So that's why in like Toy Story, like the toys and stuff, how they were like human-like and like moved around and stuff. That's because they're like a human soul in a toy's essence, I guess. That's what we're reiterating here. All right.
So that's kind of the ending of Souls, right? That kind of gives the souls more meaning and stuff.
Yes, and then also like, it explains Doug in Up, and then Remy they're in Ratatouille, and then you got Flick in
Nice.
The Bug's Life.
What?
Were you gonna say something?
No.
How that isn't
Okay.
Ratatouille's name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ratatouille.
so yeah, that's essentially what Souls like brings into the equation, and then when we get to Cars, which is next in
Well,
chronological order.
Before we have to talk about Cars, so technically that is the next, but there's one big thing that we don't technically see in the Pixar universe, but we know it happens, is essentially something we didn't say that happens, but kind of happens all throughout this, is a company, by and large, B&L, basically is the Amazon of the world and kind of not takes over, but like
No, they basically
They-
take over.
they- yeah,
If
they
you see
basically-
like, starting.
of Wall-E.
I was gonna say like 20 minutes of Wall-E of
Yeah.
him running around. You just see B&L everywhere. You see
Yeah,
B&L
but-
bucks.
So
on the ground.
basically, B&L takes over the world, and not like a take over the world way, but like
not in
a
a conquering fact, but in
Yeah.
like a
Like a corporate way.
yeah. So basically, they take over the world, run the world into the ground, then all the humans decide, hey, peace out, we're out of here, and they all go up into the sky.
and they leave on the Axiom is what it's called.
Yeah,
AXIUM is what it's called.
I guess they leave behind all their Wall-E robots and incinerators and all that stuff.
And then after like 700 years, only one of them's working.
Yeah.
That's who we watch.
Yeah.
But
But while they're up in the sky away, what happens?
Cars happens. Essentially, what it is machines and cars just won the war against humans. No,
It's not a war, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it was like whom B&L sent to space on a starship, and then they let the sentient machines run things, which is where like Wall-E and everything comes in, which we'll explain like shortly after all the car stuff that we got. So cars are essentially like either powered by B&L or an AI technology, which is explained by, or not explained, but like theorized by The Incredibles 2, or
Mhm.
not
Just
as-
The Incredibles.
Yeah, The Incredibles. The AI technology, like developed by Syndrome in The Incredibles, is who we're talking about. Run their like memories and relationship with their owners. Basically, had like the AI in the
Yeah.
robots, or not robots, in the machinery of the cars. So they had like memories and feelings and stuff.
Yeah. I know also I saw some theories that like the personalities of the cars and stuff like that come from souls of dead humans.
Yes, that's why like the AI incorporates that
Yeah.
part into it.
Yeah.
But that's Cars 1, and then into Cars 2. Do you guys remember what that one's about? It's about All in All.
It's the
I think it
fuel
was a
source?
lot more about that.
All in All was run by B&L. As we explained earlier, B&L basically owned everything. And because Earth was basically polluted with so much oil, which is the only energy source for cars, and without humans, cars eventually died out because of that. Or, sorry, didn't die out, they could have died out. Which then gets to Cars 3, which literally proves that cars don't last forever. Like they needed a more sustainable fuel source, is essentially what they were going after. Because you can see that as Cruise reveals a sign of like organic life, racing circles.
What? Cruise?
Yeah,
Who's Cruise?
the yellow car trainer from Lightning McQueen.
Oh, okay.
Cruise.
Okay.
Because the beach scene, she like spins circles around a crab. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
So and then like Cars, it shows organic life on the planet still.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when we get to Wall-E. Because then Wall-E finds the boot with the, or no, he makes the boot with the seed. He actually finds, or yeah, he digs it up there. That's right, and puts it in a boot. Right.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he digs the plant up and puts it in a boot. But
Yeah.
so, like Earth's uninhabitable by humans right now.
And also one thing I remember seeing is that like people say like, oh, the Axiom kept sending like Eves to go to Earth to look for plants and stuff like that. How come they didn't see it when cars were a thing? Something I saw about that is if you remember in the movie, the machinery, the AI didn't want to find plants, so they probably just didn't find plants. Or if they did, just not tell the humans about it. Because remember, that was the whole thing with Autopilot, where he was like not letting plants on board, not wanting. Yeah, the plot of Wall-E.
Just to clarify, Autopilot was the ship's like artificial
Autopilot?
intelligence. What?
The autopilot was the ship's autopilot?
Yes, except I'm trying to explain that it was like the steering wheel,
Yeah.
and it was a program to keep them in space
Yeah.
for an infinite amount of time. So that's like the backstory to that.
Because of the weird, for some reason, like actual footage of humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they just randomly cut to.
Yep. So that's like the context to Autopilot.
Is there humans and cartoon humans? Or is it just like, do you think that it's just a weird filter they put on?
I think it's like some,
Probably animated. So
to them it's probably stylized.
anyway, yeah, in Wall-E, the plant that was in the boot, when they come back to Earth and they plant the seed, that's actually the big tree in A Bug's Life.
What happens to like because all cars basically ruled the earth, right? What happened to them after that?
So I think Tucker kind of said that. I think I may have talked over
Yeah, it
him.
was in Cars 2 where they like emphasize all in all is like energy source that's running out for the cars, and that's why they try to get the alternate fuel source, which doesn't work.
They're basically they're running out of gas.
Yeah, they're running out of gas. And then in Cars 3 is where it actually shows that, where they start seeing like cars and stuff don't live forever.
Okay.
Okay? And then it shows the crab, which is apparently super significant because it's showing organic life in cars, which isn't supposed to happen apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what that explains about. And then it explains that Wall-E has them come back where they plant the tree or whatever. And then in Bug's Life, which I was about to get to.
Well, one second. Kyle wanted to say something.
Were you trying to ask, like, what happens to the cars in
Yeah.
Wall-E?
Yeah, because
Like-
they're just gone from Bug's Life. Like
Yeah.
there's no.
So
Well,
I
to
think
be fair, I mean, Bug's Life could just take place in a field.
I was
I
going to
guess
say,
so.
in Bug's Life, it happens in your backyard. It's not that great
But
of a
even
distance.
even beyond Bug's Life, do we see a car ever again? Or
Well, after Bug's Life, it's Onward, which we will explain that
I don't know.
What?
Well, there's multiple theories about Onward, so I don't know.
And then you got Monsters University and Monsters Inc. and then that ties everything together.
yeah.
But just to like explain how Bug's Life is brought into this whole thing, Flick, I believe is how you pronounce the main character ant name. So another ant tells Flick not to leave Ant Island because of snake birds and bigger bugs. He never mentions humans, so I'm assuming many of them didn't survive due to the pollution of that.
I mean, it could be just what we talked about earlier, where it's just they just never seen a human before because they live out in the
They're
boonies.
bugs.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that they didn't survive after returning from Wall-E because of the pollution. If you noticed that, like, the area that they landed in was barren and was full of trash, and I don't really expect them to survive too well, especially when
But
they're
they have
obese.
to be someone alive for Monsters Inc.
I think it's
No,
more...
no, they don't have to be, and I'll explain that later.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just what like the Bug's Life expresses in this. Yeah. Then in the chronological order is Onward. So the theory states that the elves and the other anthropomorphic creatures served as a missing link between the sparsely populated Earth and the monsters in Monster Inc. I believe in one of the theories it also states that one of the Axions from Wall-E went to a distant planet.
Axiom.
Axiom went to a different planet and inhabited that, and then they like evolved into the elves that you see in the movie. That was just like one of the ideas. So that's just kind of what like Onward's about. And then we get to Monster University, which is where a lot of this like ties together into like Brave and like everything. Well, sorry, that's Monsters Inc. Monster University is the one before that where they go to school. Anyway, it shows in there that the monsters were falsely taught by the school that humans were toxic, and that anything or anyone that they brought back from the human world was considered a contaminant, which you also will see in Monster University when they get the hazmat suits on. And they have to like secure the area down when a door is breached or something like that. But that just kind of explains like the university part. When we go to Monsters Inc., the doors that the Monster Inc. uses to go to the human world are portals that travel to different places at different times.
Oh, it's a time travel paradox then.
Yes, except I don't really understand how they get to pick it when they make a door.
Okay,
because
yeah.
several like kids could live in that house throughout a certain time period. But then again, but the theory states that Boo, who is like the small child that Sully gets on accident, grows up to be the old witch from Brave. And she uses the magic of the will of the wisp to create doors to travel back, which is why she works with wood. Also, in her like hut thing, or whatever you want to call that, there's a picture of Sully on the wall, and there's a picture of the pizza truck, the pizza place truck, I believe.
Planet.
Yeah, Pizza Planet. There we go. So, I think the Pizza Planet one is also like cameo, not cameo, but like brought into all the other shows.
It's an Easter egg.
Not
Yeah.
all of them, but in a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. So, but that just kind of ties the Pixar theory, and that gets, pretty much every movie that they got. I mean, Elementals is a new one that just came out, but we don't really understand how that fits into the whole story yet. So everyone's still figuring that out.
We're waiting for Elemental too.
What?
We're waiting
you're
for
right.
it, yeah.
So, but anyway, that's the Pixar theory.
And I do want to draw some conclusions I want to draw some parallels to this in real life conspiracy theories, because I feel like that's a good point to bring up. Just the fact that, let's be real, like, it's a cool theory, but I feel like a lot of it is reaching, and especially with the topics we discussed on last episode too. It's kind of the same themes, which,
Yeah.
even though it's like a fictional thing, you see the patterns, but it's something to think about. You have anything to add?
Not particularly. I think that this is a good kind of summary / kind of in-depth. Not very much, but
I'll just say I talked a lot more about all the movies that I talked about more than you guys. So
I think that those would interconnect a little bit more than the first ones too.
no, I know. I was gonna say the ones at the beginning just kind of like lay context to the ones at the end, because the ones at the end are kind of the ones that bring it into everything. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to conclude this episode of the Enigma Exchange. Unfortunately, there's been some technical issues, so you'll notice this is probably an MP3 file. We have also ditched the wheel, because unfortunately it probably won't work for future topics, but who knows? We might bring it back. So yeah, that ends episode 2. Join us in episode 3 maybe, and see you later.
Look for the clues.
Oh yeah, we've also hidden a bunch of clues throughout this episode that hint.
It was 4, right?
It was 4 clues, and I accidentally added a 5th, but it still ties in, so whatever. But we have hidden a bunch of clues in this episode that hint to the very next episode.
Who our topic is.
Yeah, what our base topic is. So keep an ear out for that. All right, everyone, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.